This is the second video I've done on tracing programs. The first one we traced through a flowchart. Excuse me, this one we're going to trace through some pseudocode. So this was one of your programming exercises from chapter 5, in particular program exercise number 1, part A. Some of the other ones you will do in homeworks, but I thought I would trace through one of these so that you have some idea what you're supposed to do, and this would match up with assignments. So the first thing we do is we have 3 variables, A, B, and C, and we set them to some initial value. So I'm going to make record of that. A is going to be set to 1. B is initially set to 2. And C is initially set to 5. So now what we're going to do is we're going to enter a while loop. So each time we go through the while loop, we check the condition. So is A less than C? That is true. So we execute the block of code associated with the while loop. We add 1 to A. And then we set B equal to B plus C. So that would set B to 7. And then we go back to the top, we hit the end while, we go back to the top of the while, we recheck the condition. Is A less than C? Well, 2 is still less than 5, so we would execute the loop again. We would add 1 to A. And then we would add B and C together and store the result in B. So that would make B 12. We hit the end of the while loop. We go back to the top. We ask, is 3 less than 5? Those are the values in A and C. The answer is yes. So we execute the block of code again. We increment A. We add B and C together and put the result 17 in B. We hit the end while, so we go back to the top of the while loop. Is 4 less than 5? That is still true. So we increment A. We add B and C together and get 22, and we store that 22 in B. We hit the end while. So we go up to the top and we say, is 5 less than 5? That is false, so we fall out of the loop. We go to the statement that's right after the end while, which is an output statement, and so I'll put a place to show our output. And then what we do is we look up the current value of A, which is 5. The current value of B, which is 22, and the current value of C, which never changed and is still 5. So that is an example of going through and tracing some pseudocode. You'll have some assignments where you need to do this, but this is also handy if you need to go through and debug a program and find out why it's not working correctly or why it's processing one less element in an array than you thought it should.